Hey everybody, Dave here, back from Berkeley Country Club. We are in the film room again, and we've got member Justin Fong, Justin, welcome to the film room. You are a scratch player, right?
Currently sitting at 2.4, but trying to
2.4.
get back down.
Okay, well, hey, I think we're going to be able to help you out a little bit here. So here we are on number one. We're going to run right through the front nine here and watch you hit some shots, and that first swing of the day right out of the gate, it's a good one. You piped it right down the middle. I like
I,
that. I'm not
I had
gonna
to take
say
a quick look at that driver. That was the first time I'd hit it.
perfect, perfect. How far in did you have on that second shot? Do you remember?
That was only about 105-ish, I want to
105.
say. It was
Okay.
it was kind of I tried to hit a small gap wedge and got it a little low on the face, so it flew a little bit.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. As you'll see here, like you said, a little low on the face, flew it over the green. But this shot here, I mean, what a phenomenal, phenomenal shot there, especially with the guys walking in the background. Um, you got up and down here, saved your par. I mean, there's nothing that I'm going to say about that hole. I mean, that was a great hole right out of the gate, and here you jump onto the second hole, par three, probably about 145 yards or so. I guess. What club are you hitting here?
So I was trying to hit a smooth 9 iron. There's a little bit of wind in our face, so I thought it was enough to get there. But
Okay.
as you'll see in a moment, I thought it was a pretty good strike. It's going to end up short,
Okay.
um,
Yep. Yeah.
so
It's
it didn't
it's a
quite get
little
there.
bit hard to pick up on that wind coming through there. I mean, it's right back at you. You do know that. Yeah, judging the right club is always difficult. But here you're probably, I don't know, 35, 40 feet, and what a heck of a lag putt. That's This is going to be something that is important. Here we go. We're going all, all over. Um, it was a great putt. You lagged it up there to 2 feet. Um, Again, nothing that we're going to say about that. You struck the shot solid. I think it's just getting to understand the distances when maybe flighting the ball down a little bit if you're taking a little bit uh, less club in that situation could have helped
Yeah,
it
I guess
out.
that's one question I have for you, and where I struggle a little bit on those shots into the wind.
Mhm.
I ended up taking a little bit of a softer 9 iron, but would you even consider doing like a flighted 8 iron? Is that something that I should incorporate into the bag?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a couple ways that you can do it, right? So depending on the strength of the wind, I guess. So in that case, you're 145 yards away. Um, what club do you hit? 145 typically. Is that
If
your
there's
9
no
iron?
wind and it's a flat shot, that's a stock pitching wedge.
Okay. Yeah. So in that case, you can either try to flight the pitching wedge down, keep it under the wind to try to get maybe to that 140 number, or you take your 9 iron, which is maybe like your 150 to 155 club,
Yep,
and just hit a stock shot, get it up into the wind, let the wind hit it, and then it's going to fall at around that maybe 142 to 145. I think
got it.
that's always a good, rather than trying to manipulate the swing and try to play something lower. Lots of times when we play something lower, we end up missing left,
Yep,
right? Because we're trying to take some off. But there's a couple different options that you could go in that case, definitely.
awesome.
I tend to lean on taking a full swing with a little bit more club, letting the wind knock it down, and go from there.
Gotcha.
Okay, so here we are on number three. Again, you piped you piped this one.
This is a
It
good
was
one.
it was a good one. You knocked it out there a little over 300 yards. And then what happened here? Little side hill lie, maybe.
Yeah, little side hill lie. Again, didn't catch it clean. I think one of the things that I find myself doing on approach shots is not centering the club. So whether it's a
Hmm.
little low, whether it's a little toe side, those are my main two misses with irons on the approaches is
Yep.
not actually centering it up. And it usually happens with these kind of lies, right? You saw on
Hmm.
one, a little bit of a side hill lie, now on three, the other way, but
Other
side
way.
hill lie.
Yep.
So I think, my ball contact with the irons and approach shots just isn't crisp.
Yeah. And I think part of that is maybe a little bit of setup. If you'll notice in your setup, when we're looking at your when you're set, you tend to get a little bit more on your heels.
Mm,
Is what it looks like to me. In this shot, it wasn't as bad as I noticed it as on your first shot, but your backside gets out past your heels, so your weight is kind of back, which can tend to lead to a little bit of early extension coming up and out of the shot and catching it a little bit thin
okay.
sometimes. But I would like to see you maybe even creating a little bit more weight on maybe the balls of your feet. So you're kind of leaning into it a little bit more, helping you stay down and through it.
Got it.
Definitely. So it
Okay.
might be something to look at. So yeah, so that shot came up a little bit short here. I'm guessing it wasn't the greatest of lies.
Wasn't a great lie. The rough caught the toe. It threw it wide open and it sent it almost dead right.
That's okay. Hey, what the important thing here is always looking at the positives. You gave yourself about 10
Yes.
feet left, 8 feet left to try and make the par and move on to the next hole. I think you just missed this one. Yeah, just broke off the hole a little bit more than probably what you were expecting. But hey,
And it was
all
slick.
yeah, yeah. All in all, that's one of our. It is the hardest hole in the golf course. You walk away, you kept your score under that double bogey number and you moved on. So that was good. But the thing that I like best is after making a bogey, you get up to the next tee and you pipe this next one on again, a difficult hole, knowing that the further you go, the more tighter the hole gets, and you stripe that iron. Um, and then yeah, you're standing over this one, and I think again so in this picture you can see how your backside is back over your heel or past your heels a little bit.
Hmm.
I'd like to see maybe even a little bit straighter up and down posture, lining up, see how your shoulders get out past your toes, your knees are back. But that's one thing. Maybe straightening up that posture is going to help lead to better, more solid ball striking too. Definitely.
Okay.
But here you stayed in that shot. You got it. I don't know if you went around the tree or up over it, um, but it was a great shot. Over.
I
You went
I ended up going up and over with a gap wedge on the front half of my stance to chuck it up high. It was pretty sweet.
nice. I like it. I like it. And this is the putt that you want, right? A little bit back up the hill, breaking back to the left a little. Um, when you go ahead and hit it, I think it misses just a touch low, maybe.
I thought I had it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, maybe another foot of pace, 6 inches of pace, and it's in. So that was good. But anytime you walk away from that hole, believe it or not, with a par, I'm happy.
I'm okay with that too.
Yep. And then we get to number 5. I like the play here. It looks like you hit a fairway wood. Just again, getting it in play, keeping it in the fairway, which you hit a lot of fairways this day, which is good. It's important, especially with our rough. But then on that shot, you could see on that one how you're up and out of it just a little early, right? Leave it out to the right, and here you kind of short-sided yourself a little bit. But you made a great chip shot. I think you hit it to about 3 or 4 feet, and yeah, there's the result of it. Maybe yeah, 4 feet, and again, you rolled this one right back in, and it's a good up and down.
That approach shot was kind of the same thing, just not hitting it clean.
Yep.
Right. I got that one a little bit on the toe side.
Hmm.
And it didn't really keep its line, didn't get the distance I wanted. So
Yep.
yeah, definitely gonna
So
look at that.
yeah, so sitting back on those heels a little bit gets you coming maybe a little bit over the top as well. And yeah, by sitting back, you get that motion and up and out of the shot maybe a little bit early, catching a little thin off the
Yep.
toe, definitely. So,
Exactly. And
so
then
what?
Dave, I'll explain this shot before you play it because it's not a normal player play, but I usually hit a little bunt draw driver off of the sixth tee.
Okay.
I found that I hit it far enough to get it down on the downslope where it really takes off, and typically I can control it really well, so it's not going left or right.
Yeah.
But once we roll the tape, we'll see what, what happens on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. There it is.
Didn't finish a swing on that one, I don't
I
think.
was I was just about to say that's kind of the same thing as when we're talking what club should we hit into the wind, right? And I like to take that full swing. What I see here is you're trying to manipulate the ball maybe a little bit, and what happens is you start to try to guide it, right? You're
Totally.
trying to steer it. When you start guiding or steering, we definitely don't swing our swing, and that's exactly what happened here, right? You're trying to get it in the fairway, you've got to commit, right? I guess commitment in the golf swing is a big word, right? Um, so hey, we missed it a little bit to the right. Here we are in the side hill in the long rough. But you know what? You're a good player. You're a smart player. You did the right thing here, right? You didn't try to bite too much off. You just kind of pitching it back out into the fairway. Um, and you did exactly that, right? Um,
There is a world in a scramble that I would have thought about going up top right and bringing it back, but not in a
you
real
know,
round.
not in a real round. And I like that play. Somebody that hits the ball high like yourself and long, definitely, because you've got all day left. You could hit it down into number 7, right?
Right.
Exactly. So here you are again, probably, I don't know, 100-ish or so, maybe a little bit less.
A little less playing down. Yep.
Yeah, you've given yourself the opportunity to get up and down, right? To save par here. So that's a big theme, right? Is giving yourself the opportunity to get away and make that par. So here with that downhill lie, you can see how your back shoulder is a little bit lower. So it's important to try to get the shoulders even with the slope of the land, right? But you catch maybe just a smidge behind this one, I think, on the approach and come up just a little bit short. Um, but again, you're short, but on the green, it's a frontish pin. You've given yourself the opportunity to try to make the putt, right?
I think
Um,
that was a similar thing with the commitment like you were talking about. You can even see in the finish of my swing, it was just kind of like
yep,
there.
guidey, yeah, yep, exactly. So, but all in all, after a tee ball like you hit, you're walking away with a par, and I think at this point you're 2 over par. And
Right.
you know what? That stretch of 4, 5, 6, in my opinion, if you could get through, 3, 4, 5, 6 at even par, 1 over, 2 over at the most, I think that you're going to have yourself a decent score. So because now we're into the scoring holes.
Right.
So here you are, number 7, and what's the game plan here?
So from here, I do take three wood. And the three wood usually draws a little bit, so I kind of like aiming at that little gap between from the left side, the second and third bunker,
Hmm.
and trying to play it up there. That was the idea, and that's typically the idea of if I'm playing up at the blue tees with um, the three wood.
Yeah, I like that. Taking a club that's going to get you up to the green, right? Especially with a better player with yourself, because your chances of making a birdie are much better when you're chipping onto the green from a close proximity. So here you
So
are.
that swing that happens when I get a little amped up and get excited about reaching a green, right?
Uh-huh.
So whether it's a driver from the back or a three wood from the blues,
Yep.
I end up getting quick and it just I don't know if I'm closing the face, body's getting ahead, but things kind of it's
Yeah.
just like
You
a
can.
low liner left
Yeah.
is what happens when I get excited and try to, you
Yep.
know, not swing harder, but I don't take my time.
Right, right. And what's important is going through your process. And what I mean by the process is your setup, making sure you go through. your technique and making sure that your routine is the same over every single shot, right? So routine is super, super important. What it does is it calms you down, right? We're trying to bring that heartbeat down. Um, so when you say you get amped up, our adrenaline's running. We know, oh man, I've got a chance to knock this on, possibly make an eagle and get back to even. But we have to be within the moment, play within the moment, right? And you can see he came over that one just a touch. Um, that right hand on the club, and I know that this is one thing for you. I think it's super strong,
Yes.
um, but you do a good job with clearing your lower body to offset that super strong grip. Right now, in that case, there he came up out of it a little bit, got on top of it, and that's why it went left. Right, um, but all in all, it's a okay miss.
Yeah.
And when we get back up to the green, you can see you make a good chip. That was not an easy chip by any means because everything is straight back away from you. So that was really a good shot. And then you leave yourself with a 5 or 6 footer for birdie. Um, and what it looks like is an easy putt. It's really not. There's a lot more movement in this putt than what you probably see, you know. Um, and I just don't think that we borrowed enough on this one. I think we missed this one a little bit low again, which
Yeah.
is kind of a common theme that we're
Uh-huh.
seeing in
Uh-huh.
a lot of our putts today.
It was the right line.
Yeah,
Just
is right
four
line.
and
Just
seven, just
yep,
short.
yep. Just the pace. But so here we go on number 8, reachable par 5 for the longer hitters like yourself.
This is a good drive.
this this is a good one. The wind was probably blowing hard off the left, I think, that day, right?
It was going real hard. No, this is similar to the tee shot on 7 after making, a par that I thought should have been a birdie. I got up there
Yep,
wanting to make up a shot or two here. Same thing
yep,
like you said,
yep,
didn't go through my process the whole way. Just wanted to swing hard, get it way out there,
yeah,
and got out of rhythm a little bit.
yep, yep.
But
Got it.
we ended up in an okay spot, but that's
Yeah, I mean, you missed it in the perfect spot, right? As you'll see, you had a direct line right back to the hole from the ninth fairway, which is perfect. But also knowing that anything past this pin,
yes.
absolutely dead, right? I mean, so I think here might not have caught it totally solid.
Exactly. Yeah. Same kind of thing. It's following, the short putt theme as well as
Yep,
the just slightly missed contact on approach shot. So
yep.
hit a 3 iron there, which was actually a perfect number.
Uh,
Um, and again, got it a little bit low toe side, which takes off, with the 3 iron quite a bit of distance, but
yep.
didn't quite get to the ball on that one either.
Yep. Yeah. No, but again, then you miss it where we need to miss it. We want to miss it short. Now, not maybe not necessarily in the bunker because that bunker is about, I don't know, 30 yards short of that hole, which a 30-yard bunker shot is super difficult. But I'll tell you what, you pulled off a great shot on this one because that is not easy at all. What, if you don't mind me asking, what club did you hit here?
So I hit a sandwich. I hit a
Sandwich.
54 degree.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would have enough to get my lob wedge, which is 60 degrees, all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
It just did not feel like the right club.
Yep.
So clubbed up a little bit, tried to play it smart. And right when I hit the shot, I knew it was on film, and I was going to review it with you. So this was probably my favorite shot
Yeah.
that we were going to talk about because
Yeah, no,
it
I
was
love
one
it.
of the good ones. Not
Yeah,
easy.
no, no, not at all. It's not an easy bunker shot at all. But I love it because you had the confidence in that shot, right? It looked like you got in there, you knew your plan. Your plan was to hit that sand wedge, and that's exactly what you did, and you executed it perfectly, which left you this 15, 20 footer or so. And what do you know? Lo and behold, we found the center, the bottom of the cup. I think on this one, huh?
This was a fun putt. I uh,
Yep.
I had my initial read. I was playing with Ship and Irish, and they both gave me their thoughts. We
Uh-huh.
put all those combined thoughts together, and it was perfect.
The
So
center of the cup. That's what we like. That's
yeah,
that
use
and that's definitely one of those scoring holes. Obviously after the drive, it's like, well, okay, well, I missed it in a good spot. Then after that second shot, we're thinking, okay, well, now I've got that difficult bunker shot, but you executed that really, really well. And then you hit an excellent putt there. So, you walk away with your birdie and you're set to go and you're off and running again. So that was really, really good. And then here on number 9, I think you smashed this one, didn't you?
yeah. This is the best drive of the day.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Carried the bunkers.
Carried the bunker is up on the right side of the fairway,
Hmm.
just with
Oh yeah.
a perfect look at it.
Yeah. That's what'd you have left there? Do you remember?
So I only had about 75, 78 yards in.
Okay.
Took that sand wedge 54 degree
Yep.
again, and this is where this is where I am not fully confident on what I should do, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I can hit my 60 degree that distance. It was playing, let's call it 82 to 85 yards,
Yep.
including the slope up there.
Yep.
I can hit my 60 that far, but just don't feel comfortable swinging it that hard because I think it's going to
Sure.
rip back.
Yep.
So I try to, choke up and hit a little softer over 54, and I end up pulling it.
Yep.
Um, so
So
that's,
yeah, and I think in my opinion you did the right thing. You went with more club. I never like seeing players make full swings with their 60. I
yeah,
mean, there's just so much excess movement going on, and if you're like me, you could lay the sod right over it, and then I got the same shot, right?
right.
Here you go with your 54. Um, I think it's one of those things that we have to get used to and getting a feel for. But something that you can do in this case, because in that swing, it wasn't a bad swing, and I like that posture actually a little bit better. You could see how you're a little bit straight
Hmm.
up and down. But what happens is you maybe decelerate a little bit into it. The lower body doesn't clear, so that's when you get that little bit of a pull. So therefore, I like you choking down. But then what you could do still so that you still make a full, aggressive swing at it is open up the face a little bit, add a little
Mm.
bit more loft, right? Still keep it choked down, but now you still can make your aggressive move through it. And it's just going to go a little bit higher, right? Um, and then hopefully holds the line a little bit better. Um, but on that shot, you're going uphill, so it's a harder shot to clear the lower body because gravity's working against us. So we have to be more mindful of getting through the shot, right? So our lower body slows down, club gets out in front of you, and it gets a little bit goes a little bit left on you. Now, granted, goes a little bit left. You missed the green by 6 inches, so it's 12 inches, but you have only whatever it was, 15, 20 feet looking for a birdie. Um, and I think you put a decent roll on this one. Um,
This putt moved a lot. I mean, I know it moves, but it moves a lot,
yeah, yep, yeah. And
and it doesn't stop.
it just keeps on going, exactly. But you made that next one, you walk away with par, and I think after 9 holes you're one over going into the back. And I think that it was a good 9 holes that you played. I think it could have been maybe a little bit higher, but you kept yourself in the game and managed that 9 holes pretty well. Um, some things I just wrote down a few statistics for you. So just on those 9 holes, and so for fairways, you hit 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 8 fairways, which is it's over 50%. So that's pretty solid. The one that you want to take a little bit of a look at is your greens in regulation. We only hit 4 out of the 9 greens in regulation, right? So that's where your inconsistencies are coming into play. You hit a few shots a little bit off the toe, a little bit thin. So that's something to definitely look at. Up and down for par. Up and down, you were 3 out of 5, which I think is good. That definitely keeps the score down. You had 15 putts, which is solid. You know, if you could get that down around 14, that's obviously a little better. But the standout here to me is within about 115, 120 yards, you had 23 shots out of your 37. So where are we going to, pick up the most strokes the fastest? It's going to be in that short game, that 100 and call it 20 yards and in, right? Um, so it's those short 75, 80-yard shots. How do I get that
Hmm.
on the green inside proximity of whatever 20, 25 feet? Give myself a look at birdie, right? Those are the important ones, and going through it and figuring out, okay, to feel like I still have full swing on a something that's going to go too far, or subconsciously I know is going to go too far. Open up the club face a little bit, choke down a little bit, narrow your stance a little bit. That's
Hmm.
subconsciously going to tell your body, okay, I'm not going to swing as hard, right? But still being aggressive through the striking zone. That's the important thing. But when it comes to the putting, I think you know posture again
Hmm.
is something to definitely look at. You see a little bit of a rounded back, um, but a lot of your putts came up a little bit short and right, taking into account a little bit more slope. Is something maybe to take a look at. But all in all, here we are dissecting a round where you're only one over par going into the back. You really did play very well. I thought you had a lot of good strikes. You smashed the driver. That's really working for you. But working on posture and setup and going through your process, your pre-shot routine, I think, is also important, especially when you're getting amped up. Try to bring it back, play in the present, bring down the heart rate. Dude, you're super strong. You have a lot of club head speed. You move it. Use that to your ability,
Totally.
and to your liking, and get it going. So, but dude, all in all, I think you did great, and look forward to seeing more and lower
Awesome.
scores.
Thank you.
Definitely,
Yeah, thanks
I
for the
know
tips.
you've
I'll
got the
come see you
talent,
for
so it's there.
a lesson to work on that posture because I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. But now
Yeah,
that I'm watching video, it's like, oh, I can absolutely see it.
right.
So these kind of things help a lot.